Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Wizard of Oz. And this movie came out in 1939, and it's directed by Victor Fleming and starring Judy Garland. And this movie is a huge classic for many, many, many people. And I really loved this movie, and it was a blast. It was fun, and I loved the tone of the film, and it was overall really great. And what I really love about the movie, like I said already, the tone, and it's always very clear. It's playful and fun and silly. And like I love the characters in the movie as well. They're all very likable characters. And I honestly don't even know who my favorite would be. Maybe Scarecrow. I really love him. I think he's just a really fun character to watch, and since he's like made of straw, like just watching him like walk around and or like learning to walk was a lot of fun to watch. And I think the character introductions for everyone is great, and Tin Man is great, and Lion, I love his introduction. Like he's trying to be intimidating, but he's really just a coward, and like he's that mask of him just being like nice and tough in his introduction is like torn off once he starts coming towards Dorothy, and Dorothy just slaps him and then he starts crying. So yeah, that was really funny for me. And there's a lot of charm to this film as well, and in many ways it is kind of dated, but I don't take off points for it. I just found it aged and charming to me, and it's just what they were able to do, and it's just very impressive that they were able to do all this in the 30s. And it's a very entertaining movie to watch, and also part of my enjoyment while watching the movie was also seeing how like just the dialect between the characters, and it's like a nice time capsule for me. And there's also famous lines like I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Like I didn't realize that line was from this movie, and when it came up I was like, oh, that's shocking. And there's lots of quotable lines in this movie, and it's always fun. It's very well paced as well, and I loved the usage of color in the film, and I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about when I say that. Not that this is the first movie to have color in a film. Like there was Gone with the Wind that had color in it. I think that's the oldest movie I've seen that was filmed in color, I believe. And I really love the world that this movie is set in, and it's nice and playful, like I've said many times. And I think the music is great. There's lots of really great songs, and they're pretty iconic, and I'm sure you all know them. And my favorite was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I think that's the name of it. I really love that one. The movie never once felt like it was getting repetitive at any point, or any scene was dragging on for too long. And just about every scene in the movie moves the story forward, and they never really explain how this world works necessarily, like in terms of like magic or like the witchcraft of anything. They don't explain it because otherwise you would just like bog it down with all that kind of stuff, and it would just ruin the pacing, I'd imagine. And for some things it could have been explained a little bit better. Like there's a point in the movie where Dorothy is faced like with an hourglass, and by the time it ends like she's gonna be out of time, and like they never like explain why that's a thing that's happening, or like what's going on while that thing is going. And there are some like plot lines that are unanswered, like Toto is being like taken away early on in the film, and then it's kind of just forgotten about and just is no longer important at a certain point in the story. So there's like little tiny things like that with the movie that you could say, it's not a perfect movie, but it's still wonderfully entertaining. And there's more to say about this movie, and there's lots to read into about the film, and especially things that went on behind the scenes, and apparently this movie was directed by like 5 different people, and there's lots of things that you can read into about the film, and it is one of those films that isn't necessarily like affected by any of those elements or like problems that went on behind the scenes, and the end product is like really great and memorable. I'm really glad that I was able to rewatch it, because I think the last time I saw it was a few years ago, like right around when COVID started, and I haven't seen it since. And rewatching it, kind of gave me some newfound appreciation for it. And I'm not saying that I didn't love it like a few years ago. Like, I used to watch this movie a lot, and like rewatching it this time, I had a great experience, I feel, and it was better than I remembered it being. Although there are a couple little things that I can criticize, not necessarily it being dated, but just like a few things I've mentioned already, like Toto's, and like he was being taken away, but that's kind of forgotten about. They don't really mention that, or like magic, or like sometimes it works for the most part I'm fine with it, but like for a few key things, like it doesn't really explain why. And it's like, yeah, it's fine that you don't explain it, but at the same time, it's like, this is involving stakes here. I should probably know something by now. But despite my few minor criticisms with the film, I love it, and I will definitely be watching this movie again. So check this movie out if you haven't already. I'm sure you probably have, but just in case you haven't, check it out. It's a classic, and for good reason. So with all that being said, I'm going to give The Wizard of Oz a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of The Wizard of Oz, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Wolverine. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.